Alright, so welcome back to the Aria Winners Final. Yeah, Winners Bracket Final between JupiterClimb Derxu. I unfortunately am doing a little more delay than I should be. Due to technical issues on my end. Both runners, I did not get that top particularly. Like there's Waterfall, Rando. Both runners with the save are probably going to affect the left transition and probably reset out back to that save point. And yeah, it's just it's not backdoor exit. They can only get through from the other way. So both runners heading over here towards the freaking skull, and they're probably going to find long armor or right after this. Derxu actually taking a little bit of a lead there due to of Randomizer. And there we go, there's the mountain. So we're likely going to see them both check this transition here, which normally goes to Floating Gardens. And it is Clock Tower, which they can definitely do this if they want. However, it is a long backtrack if they get dead-ended at the end there. Because while there is a teleport, they cannot get to the teleport without Lula down to the bottom. So those are both taking that for later. So Jupiter seems to have caught up here. Being the first to make their way back up here. And another ability pull. That's interesting. This really opens things up. First to finding the inner quarters. So that's our first divergence here. And it's seeing a yellow soul from Jupiter. Okay, that's fabulous. That is not something Jupiter wants. It is easily the worst yellow soul in the game. It significantly reduces your damage output. And Derxu finding the bottom of the reservoirs. Okay, and Derxu finding slide in the bottom of the reservoirs behind the breakable wall. So that will actually allow Derxu to get through here, because if slide was not there, would have had to turn around at that point, would not have been able to get into I can't remember the name of that for some reason. The study, okay. the study can be a bit of a trap here because it is a long path and it always leads to a left transition at the end, which is the more dangerous side of things in regards to whether you can actually get into the next area or not. There's no teleport in study, so if you go through it and you hit a dead end, you have a long walk all the way back around to where you came in, unless you can reset out of it. You can pick up anything that's that important. So Jupiter taking a teleport back to the start here, which is pretty good play. There tends to be a handful of rather easy sequence break sort of situation items in this randomizer, and it does tend to be a little bit biased towards some of these early easy sequence break things. In which case, getting some of those early, not quite accessible at the beginning of the game, but usually fairly close after that is a good idea. We have definitely seen Panther make a bit of a difference when found up there in the flight log, for example. In this case, it's actually not sequence break as they got Hippogriff so quickly. So it looks like Jupiter is sort of following the same path Derxu took here, heading into the study. We'll see if he actually no. Okay, Reservoirs was first, and then study was at the bottom. So we'll see if he turns around and continues a different direction, or if he also decides to cancel and study. In this case, though, they actually know where the forbidden active or exit transition is. So it's not quite as dangerous as it normally would be, because they know it's not going to that particular one. So Jupiter taking a save, he's probably going to reset out of the boss as well. I'm thinking that was Legion. And pretty under-equipped at this point. Okay, so Derxu finds Giant Bat, which actually is not much of a help at this point, because they have Hippogriff for flight and Slide for slide. So Giant Bat is not a significant upgrade at this point. It does have some movement advantages, like you can use it for canceling, but it's not gonna let anyone get somewhere that they can't, or like, unless there is a book in the one inner corridor that block spot, which is pretty rare. Okay, so it does seem this is not a dead end here in study. It goes into the bottom of the chapter. And it does seem that, I guess I missed what Jupiter must have picked up because he's coming back out here. And he is also, seems to be heading along the, going through study. And Gravekeeper in Chapel. That will be a small, but still significant over time movement upgrade. And it will also help a lot using heavy weapons. So not finding too much through here. I'm surprised Derxu has not taken the teleport back to the start yet. I don't believe so, unless I missed it. Jupiter cleared that out earlier. Um, there might have been like Yalamoth up there. But at this point, Derxu has passed by 2 teleports. I'm not sure if Derxu unlocked the upper one or not, but I don't believe the inner port, um, inner quarters one was unlocked. So armor of fire for Derxu. That is a huge upgrade over casual clothes, which was what he was still on at this point. Did Jupiter just pull out Legion against Manticore? I did not when he actually got that. But a very strong red soul. Okay, so Chapel just routed around to the end of Inner Corridor, which there actually is a book in the Padlock spot. So it actually is a very good thing that that was found and kept. This is kind of interesting that they're following too much the same route. But in a way, it looks like Derxu is actually a little bit ahead of Jupiter. In actuality, it's hard to say, as Jupiter has done a few extra steps at the beginning. So they're actually pretty close at this point. I missed what Derxu got there at the end, but it must have been something in order for it to be worth the stretch back out. I believe he did take the save before the end would have reset back out to the save if there was nothing in there. Great, so we are seeing a new transition here. The what normally goes to the bottom of clock tower, and it is the bottom of top floor. This would be quite dangerous at this point. He's just carrying on, seeing what's on the other side. Okay, and that's where the previous transition normally would have went to. No Skula yet, so nothing really can be done there, but let's do unlock the teleport to come back later. And Derxu is going up to the top floor. With Giant Bat, it's probably not too bad. You can sort of fly over those final guards. Okay, so what Derxu kept at the end of the last section in this order was certainly Harpy Soul. Jupiter, on the other hand, just decided to reset out of that. Hopefully he made a note of that, or he knows where to come back for it later if he needs it. So I'm guessing we're going to see the same play out with Jupiter here. Going to find bottom of clock tower, going to grab the teleport, and then he's going to come back here and clear out the top floor. Derxu has survived fine, made it to the top floor, so it shouldn't be too dangerous for him at this point. Got a few more checks to go, but he can get through transition easily, as well as get the teleport to get out that way as well. Okay, so ability stole from Derxu. It is Kicker. So that's nice from the movement standpoint. It is not critical by any means. I don't think it will put anything into, well, it never puts anything into logic in these particular settings, but it won't allow Derxu to get somewhere he can get support. And we've got Excalibur for Derxu. The upper left top. That is a great weapon, very strong, kind of slow. You need to use backdash with it. Otherwise, you're left in place for a while. And Jupiter also safely making it from top to top floor. Alright, so Derxu is going to check with this transition for us, switching back weapons to get those multi-hands. And Cemetery. Jupiter picked up his Kicker as well. He should be grabbing Excalibur any moment. Great, so we'll probably be seeing what boss is in the cemetery here momentarily. If this is a strong boss, I'm not sure. Okay, it's not a strong boss, but I would not know whether they would actually fight it out or just keep something that's needed. Headhunter, especially with the Excalibur, is incredibly quick. Some really nice backdash cancels from the distance there. And Jupiter is also heading that way. Just wait, neither runner sounds truly dead. They are definitely looking for that. That is a big goal still. There's a couple of souls here in Cemetery. I've not seen anything critical yet. Derxu having some trouble with the Rippers and switching to Excalibur. Yeah, it's slow, but that reach is amazing. And there is a red book. Altair, I believe, yeah, Altair, and it can be farmed off the Sorga. I'm thinking we saw that get picked up. I'm not sure though. Jupiter flying over top of the river with a giant bat. That definitely made up a little bit of time there. So at this point, the runners are 2 rooms apart from each other, go in the same direction. So Jupiter is definitely a little bit ahead at this point due to having cleared some of her checks at the beginning and otherwise being almost exactly the same position outside of that. Alright, so let's see where they go from here. I am thinking there's a good chance that they go back down to inner corridor and go take there's one more flight lock transition a little bit to the left of the one that they took up to get up here. Need to check that out. Jupiter seems to be taking a teleport out though, so maybe he's got other plans. Jupiter going back to inner quarters. Probably going to go knock the boss out there, and I believe Galamoth was at the beginning, so going to get those effects out of the way. Yep, and okay, so Derxu finally teleports back to the beginning, gets his Galamoth from the flight lock outside the teleport. So it looks like there's some Demon's Mail in the shop. I'm guessing Derxu's going to pick that up. Alright, so really easy boss where Headhunter would normally be. With Great Armor is the easiest one of the bosses with location is randomized. And we're going for the Galamoth set. I did not think it was the right item. Okay, there's a blue canister. Manticore. Okay, so that's not going to do a lot in regards to progression from this at this point. It could be required in order to get to the waterfall. It usually isn't in that case, but it is the best damage output goal in the game, just for knocking down bosses quickly, as well as since the runners do not have Panther, it can also be used for movement speed. Jupiter finds the arena. It's an incredibly dangerous area, but Jupiter will knock this out really easily. Yeah, that temperature helps a lot just in regards to climbing up past the gargoyles. Derxu, on the other hand, is doing that long switchback transition check right before Creepy's goal. I do not believe he's doing this yet. Okay, so there's Danceball. The bottom entrance. Okay, so I did not see what was the top of the left side of Arena there. I assume Jupiter got something he liked, seeing as he backtracked out of there. Really fast wrecking ball from Jupiter. Alright, so Derxu cleared out top of Antfall. We'll see whether he completely clears out the bottom or if he just does some of it and saves the long check for later. He might also grab the teleport here. Okay, so it seems Derxu is going for full clear. Jupiter goes for the bat flip on DDR room. Just at the Simon and the first long check in bottom of Antfall. And Vanilla Valor in Arena. That's a pretty tough fight for the Excalibur there for Jupiter, just needing, because it locks you in place for so long, and if you backdash, and if you're backdashing, it gets really easy to accidentally run into this. Jupiter's making really short work of the lore. You're finding death in the bottom of the hall. And I got a rune ring I saw somebody pick up. Interesting strategy from the right death. Hopefully I've seen that one before. Great, the death down. That was also a very fast fight. Okay, so just some gold armor at the boss check for Antfall. So Jupiter won't miss anything if he decides to skip out on the check. It's like 2 long checks at the bottom. Okay, so Jupiter is also doing that switchback climb from outside Creeping Skull. I believe this is where the Antfall transition is. So he's sort of going back to following Derxu, I guess. I'm guessing Derxu is going to go take the upper transition at this point, the sidewalk one, and we'll get to see where that goes. Okay, breakable ceiling is an ability skill. Oh, just super secret keeper. Jupiter pausing there at that up in the road. I think he's thinking about that for a moment. Got that manticore that would pair up really nicely. But the opposite keeps that out of anyway. But Jupiter actually seems to be doing the full clear on the bottom of the handball. I was thinking that he was going to stick out on these. Um, there's nothing there though. I think the trick too is doing these off of, I guess, off the inner corridor. I mean, well, after the flying armor gap. I actually did not realize that he hadn't done these yet. I believe he got his hippogriff in the room that has the transition, and he went up towards the what would normally be the inner quarters transition instead of continuing there and to the right. Whereas Jupiter cleared those out, but then he took the transition. That's the death fight for Jupiter as well. As this goes back into Reservoirs, I believe. Or no. Okay, so he's all the way on the right one, Reservoirs. And the bottom, the very bottom, went to, man, I'm getting mixed up. It may have been Study, or it may have been something that went to Study. But Derxu is going up for, he's going for the inner quarters clear. He's got his Galamoth now, so that makes sense. I don't think there's anything at Galamoth. And Jupiter also finds some duplicate great people. I just realized we're 35 minutes in and there's still no speedrun. This is actually quite interesting. There are some checks we have not seen in the bottom of reservoirs, though, that are in logic. Like near the waterfall. Cool, it could be like white block at the waterfall, or even just in the slide block on at the bottom. Flying armor for Jupiter in the clock tower. I missed when we got in there though. because I know that the teleport has been found, which would get to the bottom part. I don't remember seeing either of the top two transitions being found, however, so it wouldn't surprise me if Jupiter decided to kick her down the sequence break in. So assuming that's how he got in there, this is not in logic for Jupiter. It can also be a little bit dangerous in terms of getting stuck in here. In this particular case, I don't think it's too risky because some of the problem areas have already been found. Actually, I take that back. Like, it could be eastern and western reservoirs. Two other transitions in here, so it is possible you could get stuff in here. Okay, so yes, but that actually is Eastern Reservoir on the right side. So without Tula, people can't really do much here. And also, due to just some logic work, this is considered Tula lock. So Tula is not going to be over here, which is really what people want to work out. Derxu is some speed, going for clearing out Arena. Okay, so Jupiter has now cleared all the checks you can actually get to in Eastern Reservoir and is heading back. Okay, so Derxu finds blocking mail at the top of Arena, so that's I guess that's what Jupiter found up there, which is like reset out, but Derxu reset that then. I mean, he's already got demons now at this point, so not too much need for better on for different armor. Okay, so Jupiter going back for the western transition of Watch Tower. Oh, okay, so this is plenty safe then. I guess this possibly even came up in this way. I was thinking, I missed how he came in the first time, and I was thinking maybe he died of it. Alright, so this is going to be interesting as to where Jupiter goes next. I'm thinking it's got to be Reservoir. I think Jupiter is pretty much cleared out everywhere else we can get to at this point without the fuel. Right, so first up, we're gonna okay, so Jupiter is in Reservoirs. First up, we will be seeing a slide lock item momentarily, and it is just a one of those that I don't know which one. We got the Arcdemon room, it's got one item in the bottom right, and in the Waterfall area, there are 3 checks there. I figure school has gotta be in one of those. Unless, actually, okay, the tracker says they both have Undyne, in which case it could also be through the Waterfall. I missed the Undyne pickup. It would be amazing, though, if it was required Waterfall to get through it. There it is. It is behind the waterfall. Technically sequence breakable. Like, by the way, but logically, waterfalls required for school. Okay, so Derxu beating Valor and also getting his rune ring. Okay, so behind the waterfall is gardens. And I'm thinking at this point there's nowhere it could really dead end you, so it's fairly safe to go through there without risk of being forced to go back the way you came. I'm thinking, though, it's probably likely to dump you out at, like, upper western reservoir entrance. Which is really where you'd want to be anyway for the next check, because you can do the check there easily enough, and you can just sort of go across the top of Reservoir to get to Eastern, and hit the checks over there. And yes, there it is. That is Western Reservoir. Okay, we got Book 2. Hegnazo. That was very early on. I believe it was right there in the backdash room at the beginning of the game. Derxu doing the kick under to get into Clock Tower from the bottom without Skula. He's actually taken the save. Okay, well, maybe he knows. Yeah, I believe he may have. We know that the left side goes to where we normally enter gardens. So he may know that that's safe to save in that case. Was Jupiter just going back for the teleport? Okay, I found that a little bit surprising. I was thinking he was going for Eastern to clear that out, but unless he's got everything. I didn't think we had all the books though at this point. Well, Jupiter also could just be using top floors like a central point to save reset to, like doing a check to look for a book and then reset back out of it. So that way, when he finds the book, he hopes he can just reset to the top floor instead of having to actually go there. But it does seem like he's going for it. I thought we'd only seen 2 of the books at this point, though, so I'm not sure. Derxu, on the other hand, is actually doing Eastern Reservoir. But Derxu doesn't have Skula yet. Or at least according to the tracker, I mean. Yes, Jupiter does have Skula. Gozen, who is tracking this, I believe, stepped away, so. And I have no idea how to actually update the tracker. Actually, Jupiter did these checks before he had Skula as well. Okay, so Jupiter did get past Graham, so he either had the 3rd book or guessed well. I'm not sure which. So Jupiter is now significantly in the lead at this point. Because I'm about to find out right here whether Derxu has Skula or not, because can't get through this way without Skula. Okay, yeah, Derxu doesn't have Skula. So Jupiter having to go back over through the waterfall again to get to Gardens for the Julius fight. But this is a bad backtrack for Derxu. Because he kicked down into Clock Tower and went all the way out there to Eastern, but cannot even get to the teleport here due to lack of Skula, so he's stuck going all the way back from Eastern, all the way through the top of Clock Tower to get back out. And Jupiter busting out the Manticore and Excalibur strats on Julius. Well, Derxu checks out the top of Clock Tower with the boss. Onto the second phase, Julius for Jupiter. And wow, that was a really nice pattern, getting a whole pile of Excalibur backdashes in a row into the Manticore to end the fight. So Derxu is looking at the map. I think he's not sure where to go at this point. maybe he doesn't realize he can get over to the waterfall, or, I mean, he technically doesn't even need to get through it, which he should be able to get through it, but... So Derxu needs to go to inner quarters to take the bottom right transition to get into Reservoir, I believe. You know what, that might work as well, because the very bottom transition of Reservoirs... No, that didn't lead in there. That's the wrong direction. It was pretty early, though. So maybe backtracking the way he came in is the plan. Oh, he's gonna go all the way through the study. Alright, so Jupiter is right about up to the Chaos site. Okay, so Jupiter getting some nice multi-hits on Chaos with the Excalibur. Derxu heading back to Backdash Room, though. I would have thought that would have been cleared beforehand. Oh, Undyne is back there. Oh, wow. So he either skipped that or reset out of that, and that turned out to be a huge problem. Well, logically a huge problem. In reality, you can hit it through the waterfall, but... Actually, it's a huge problem because you have to get through there to get to gardens afterwards. Jupiter getting those nice 2 eyes at once on the left side, then getting 1 eye and the core in the same swing. That's hard to do. Derxu takes down Legion, and Jupiter's getting those Manticore hits in now. $39 damage per eye, per hit on the core. That core is not going to be alive for much longer. Alright, and Jupiter wins with a time of 55 minutes, 44 seconds. Good game, Jupiter and Derxu. It looks like Derxu's gonna find his Skula anytime here now. I'm guessing Jupiter is probably going to join us for an interview, but I have not heard anything yet on that. Alright, and there is Derxu's Skula. Alright, so Derxu is clearing out gardens here. I'm guessing he's still looking for things. And duplicate Skula in the garden. It'd be interesting to see where this leads out to, though, because I missed it when Jupiter came through here. Okay, so that's where Western Reservoir side came from. Okay, okay. I clearly missed something else here too, because I'm thinking I don't ever remember seeing the front of Forbidden Area. Hey, welcome, Jupiter.
Hello, Fuse.
So, good game there?
Yeah, I gotta be honest, the seeds today have been pretty rough. That one in particular was quite difficult, I think.
Well, you both took a long time to find Skula. I think you may have ended up in chat there right before Derxu came to the waterfall.
Yeah, in my experience, it's very rare to find Skula in the actual reservoir. So my hunch was, save those checks for later. That turned out to be a mistake. But I was happy with my movement, and I think the rest of the routing was pretty solid.
Yeah, this second one here was you both routed very similarly for probably more than half of the race. It was like a couple screens apart sometimes, because you did a couple extra checks that Derxu didn't do until later, so that sort of gave the illusion that Derxu was surpassing your position when you then proceeded to continue following the same exact route around.
Yeah, I tried to play a little bit more thorough this seed. I think the one check I orphaned was the study boss check. And I think that was Legion, wasn't it? What did that one end up being? I don't know if Derxu took a look.
I believe it was Legion.
Mhm.
So Derxu
Well, I gotta say,
did not pick up the Undyne in Backdash Room originally, so...
Yeah,
Ah,
I
okay.
did, but I reset out of it.
okay.
But it was there until very recently.
GG's Derxu. Those were some fun
GG
races, I
as
think.
well. Yeah. Congrats.
Well, I'll say this, honestly, every single race I've had in this tournament up to that last one had early Panther. So despite that one being a little bit, a little bit of a labyrinth, I kind of enjoyed it. It was a nice change of pace.
Mm. Did this one have Panther?
Nobody
At least
found it
I
yet.
didn't find it anyway.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I just found my third book, and well, I had a plan how to finish it, and that's enough. It would have taken me some time. Well, yeah. But both Skulas were Undyne locked, right?
Yeah.
Yes, logically, yes. In actuality, I mean, you could sequence break by just hitting it across the waterfall.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, that waterfall spot is an interesting place because it's Undyne and Rush locked, even though you can hit it half the time. So it tends to be one of those kind of hot spots. I think it's in a way that of easy sequence break that sometimes yields stuff. I think one of my races had a panther right there behind the waterfall that also was an item like this that could have been picked up much earlier than it was. All right.
Oh, by the way, Fuse, thanks a lot for doing commentary. I know it was last minute. Super appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
All right, so Jupiter, you're going on to the grand finals, and Derxu, I guess you got like 2 matches. You got to see what happens first to figure out your next opponent.
And Fuse, when are you playing next? I know you're still in the bracket.
It is not scheduled yet. But yeah, I'm against Victus next. And the winner of that goes to Vlad. And the winner of that goes against Derxu.
Yeah, cool. Some very nice matches coming up, right?
Alright, so I guess that does it. Thanks to everybody for stopping by and watching, and SpeedGaming crew who got this all set up for the stream and everything.